Once you identify the Almighty, you identify your divine purpose, which is how do I utilize my unique gifts? What am I good at? What am I passionate about? How can I utilize that gift and that passion in the service of the Most High? So once you figure that out as a man, then you devise a plan. You cannot be a man without a plan. What me say? You cannot be a man without a plan. How can you lead a family and you have no plan, my brother? I'm asking a question. All right, make we continue.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, for the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the light. Lion voice.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Panafrican Happy Man. I'm an entertainment attorney, I'm an author, I'm an actionist, I'm an artist, and right now I am the host of the Lion Voice. And today we have a very special topic that we're going to touch. We're going to continue in the vein of the Rastafari Man standard, still the top performing video on this channel. We want to just give thanks to all of the subscribers, all the viewers who checked out the Rastafari Man standard. I'll put a link right here. Remember to subscribe, like, share the video so that it can be recommended to more ones and ones. We're getting this conversation started. And what's the conversation, you may ask? Well, the conversation is, what are the essential elements of the Rastafari man for the future? The real Rastafari we're talking now. So this is a key. We're going to talk about building your kingdom. What are the essential elements that you have to embody or to have, or parts of the livity? We use this word livity, but do we really know what livity is? Have we defined livity? Because if you haven't lived with our elders who set the way, the pioneers, most of the youth them today are getting the trod through the internet or through different sources. So they're not in close proximity to the first generation, which was the Howalites, the second generation mansions and organizations, which were the Nyabingi, Bobo Shanti, 12th tribe. And then, the trad has been diffused so much, it's dispersed so much now that there is some level of confusion as to what a Rastafari man really is. And without a Rastafari man standard, we do not have the requisite leadership that we need to lead us into this new era, which is the building of Zion on earth, the building of heaven on earth. Check out the last episode if you want clarity in terms of what Rastafari, Zion on earth looks like. Remember, the goal for us to build the Rastafari future, it is going to be built on strong Rastafari families. So this is why it's so important. This is why this channel, we're going to be focusing on cultivating the Rastafari man to lead the Rastafari future. What me say? Cultivating the Rastafari man to lead the Rastafari future. Over 95% of this viewership, according to the demographics, are male. So we're going to do that. But even though we're going to be focusing on the Rastafari man, the application is for the Pan-African man, for men of all races can benefit. So we know that not everyone who watches this channel is Rastafari. Trust me, we know that, and we give thanks for the views. But one of the things that we've learned as we study this content creation is focusing on a niche. and focusing on the niche that you feel you can add the most value to. And that is really what you see is happening with the evolution of the channel. We're just using these early episodes to get better at what we're doing, to get comfortable being on camera, you know. And so by the time we reach 100 and we invest in the equipment and studio, and you know, the thing is up, we've put in the hours that it takes, and we've cultivated. So all of the people who are here in these early phases, I just want to say give thanks, you know. Really is a joy to share these moments with everyone. So we're gonna get into the 7 elements of a real Rastafari man, and I just want to make it very clear that every Rastafari man is a king. If you're a real Rastafari man, that means that within you, you have the Lidge, you have the Dejazmatch, you have the Ras, you have the Negos, and then of course the higher sides, which is Nugusa Nagas, Emperor Haile Selassie I. You know, you become one with the higher self. So all of that is within the Rastafari man standard, and like I said, we're gonna go through each stage, what those embody. But right now we want to do a bird's eye view in terms of the 7 elements. So you just treading up into the Rastafari faith, or you've been in the faith for some time and you're looking for some direction. These are 7 key elements that's gonna help you, that you have to make sure that you are cultivating in a real way. What are they? Number 1, spiritual wellness and health development. Seek ye first the Kingman of the Almighty and all of his righteousness, and all things shall be added. So we start there. You've identified how you associate with the higher power. So once you identify that, you've come and say, you know what? I am Rastafari. I want to trod this Rastafari life. The first thing you have to do now is identify what is your divine purpose as a man. As a man, you must have a plan. You cannot be a man and you don't have a plan. What me say? You cannot be a man and you don't have a plan. Because you cannot lead anyone if you don't have a plan. That doesn't mean the plan might not get amended along the way. Don't tell me you're trying to lead people and you don't have a plan. All right. Divine purpose. So under spiritual wellness health department, daily prayer and meditation. You know, as a Rastafari man, you have to be in tune with the divine. We grow our locks, they're like antenna, catch the spiritual frequency. When you rise up, you know, you give thanks for life, you give thanks for strength, and you know, some type of alignment to make sure that you stay on that spiritual frequency. I would add in there yoga, exercise. Exercise is a form of prayer, because while you're praying, you're asking the Almighty to strengthen the eye. You're, you know, going in, you're testing the temple. So while you're doing that process, you know, you're having divine thoughts, you're thinking about the works, building the vehicle that will carry out these works, which is your temple, the temple of the Most High. This is also why the Rastafari man is not a man full of tattoo and them something there, because we wouldn't put graffiti on the temple wall. Now we know a lot of brethren have tattoos that they got before they come into the trad, but we never see His Majesty with no holy tattoo. So we are dealing with the Rastafari man. This is the order. Don't come in and try change, you know. The order, it's been set. Give thanks. Number 2, you must have, and these are the departments, so I'm putting it in the context of departments. So you have a spiritual wellness department. This is you as a king. These are all of the different departments that you now have within your kingdom. Let's make that clear as we give these elements. So these are all of the departments. They have to manifest in your liberty as you grow. Again, number 2, education department. So you have to, once you identify the Almighty, you identify your divine purpose, which is how do I utilize my unique gifts? What am I good at? What am I passionate about? How can I utilize that gift and that passion in the service of the Most High? So once you figure that out as a man, then you devise a plan. You cannot be a man without a plan. What me say? You cannot be a man without a plan. How can you lead a family and you have no plan, my brother? I'm asking a question. All right, make we continue. Education department. Reading books of all type. As a Rastafari, you know, I am the reading Ras. I'm an author, so I've written a book. So I'm intimately familiar with the reading process. As a Ras, you have to always be reading. His Majesty was a reader, avid reader. Took several pictures with him reading for that purpose. Imported the first printing press in Ethiopia. Stimulate the written word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Almighty, and the Word was the Almighty. You understand? So reading have to be a part of your chad. Essential reading as a Rastafari man, the Bible. And again, it's popular now to burn the Bible and really Ethiopia is one of the oldest versions of the Bible. Every Rastafari brethren should read that version if possible. If not, you know, find a version. This whole earth has been so impacted by that book. You would be not wise not to be familiar with the text, because you're going to look at the whole world different. And one of the great things I did in my early trad as a young youth university student, I read the Bible from front to cover, like I would a novel. And you know, it just makes the world a whole different place, because you have a greater understanding of why things are the way they are. You can see how the book has been used politically down through the ages. You can see how the book differs from what people say the book differs, you know, what people hold the book out to say. And you will also see that this is an African story. So I write about it in my book. So it's very important book that you should read. Other books, Selected Speeches and the Important Utterances of His Imperial Majesty. These are the speeches that have been compiled. You can add the wise mind to that. If you are a real Rastafari man, you have to read them book there. Because if not, what are you following? Are you following your opinion, my brethren? And what I say, when brethren give me words so that's contrary to His Majesty, you know, I have to follow His Majesty, because I know His Majesty resume, and if I compare it to this brethren resume, it's not going to match up. So I have to go with what I see and what I know has proven results and outcome, which is His Imperial Majesty build a nation. So that's how we deal with that. But how do you know what His Majesty thought process is if you haven't gone through the selected speeches or the important utterances? Another important book, the autobiography. You have to read the autobiography if you say you're a real Rastafari in this time. You haven't read the autobiography, I'm gonna look at you. You know, you might be Rasta, and that's maximum respect to Rasta. I can't tell Rasta what to do, but Rastafari is a legacy. Rastafari is a livity that has been lived. You know, it's a historical record associated with it, a body of work. So I can speak with authority as it comes to Rastafari. Rasta is a vibration. I will give thanks. Some of it's good, some of it's not great. So, you know, we made that distinction. This is for the Rastafari man, because we have to set a standard to move this thing into the new millennium, into this new era. So the autobiography of him, I have to read the autobiography of him. Also, the life and opinion of the philosophies and opinion of Marcus Garvey. As a Rastafari brethren, you have to read Marcus, so you can understand, you know, the potent power, you know, that is the Africanist diaspora. And you know, study Marcus Trad to see how cooperative economics can impact. And in general, as a real Rastafari man, you have to consume educational content. That means you must watch a documentary. We know so we have to watch some lion documentary, National Geographic and them thing there. Africa documentary. You have to be knowledgeable about world affairs, geopolitics. As a Rastafari man is a well-rounded man. You can talk on many topics because you have taken the time to invest and to read and to become knowledgeable, whether again documentaries and reading, because not everything that they have in books you can find on the internet. Not everything that is in a documentary or in a book is going to be in a documentary, so you have to have both sides, the technology side and then the written word. So that's part of your education department. All right. Number 3, you have to have an economic system. So you seek the Most High, you say Rastafari, you set your purpose, you educate yourself so your knowledge is vast and you're continually educating yourself. You have to now set an economic foundation. You cannot move in this planet without economics. What does that look like for Rastafari? It's a multiple streams. His Majesty was a businessman and had multiple streams, from farms to investments in different industries in Ethiopia. He had the printing press. So he was, as a private businessman, different than the crown, managing several businesses and using those businesses to supplement the government affairs. So as a Rastafari man, you say you're a Rastafari, well, Rastafari had businesses. So Rastafari is a businessman in this time. Multiple streams of income, economic ecosystem. The item can see I'm putting my ecosystem out there for everyone to see. All right, let's go into some housekeeping. First and foremost, I just want to thank all of the subscribers. It's growing slowly but surely. We still haven't had anybody signing on the Patreon. Remember, we're giving away a free copy of Haile Selassie's Ethiopia. I'm gonna continue to put that forward until we get the Patreon going. We're gonna have a whole different conversation and community. That's for people who want to go in depth to really move this thing forward. That being said, everyone else, we give thanks. Remember your relationship questions, we're compiling them. We're gonna have a nice relationship show. I'm trying to find a sister that I can bring in on the reasoning as well, so we can balance it out. So that's gonna be nice. But put your questions for the relationships at Ask Lion Voice. Also, again, we just give thanks to everyone. Remember to like the algorithm. The more the video is liked, the more it recommends. So we're spreading this channel, we're building this channel. I'm very excited about everything that's happening. Love reasoning with the item in the comments. The chosen few who decide to comment, it makes Simon day. So just continue the good vibration. You can go to the website, support the ecosystem, and every Rastafari brethren have to do the same. Set your ecosystem in place. We have to prepare for this paradigm shift. We're moving into the digital age. So we have to use the direct-to-consumer model. We have to build our tribe around us as Rastafari brethren and sistren, and that network is going to be what helps us to sustain and keep informed and again circulate our dollar. As part of your economic ecosystem, there has to be charitable investments, meaning that you're investing money forward into the community. His Majesty and Empress Menen, who was also a businesswoman, mind you, they had family business, but they invested heavily in the church, heavily into the arts, and all of these things. So as a Rastafari brethren, you have to make charitable investments. Some of the money you're bringing in has to be reinvested forward into your community. Me not ask, when me I tell you, you have to do these things as a real Rastafari man. This is the Rastafari man standard. Remember, we're setting a standard in the thing. Number 4, you have to have a communication department, which encompasses your diplomatic or diplomatic strategy. So every Rastafari man have to be a diplomat. His Majesty dealt with all of the nations of the earth with love and with unity, firm when you have to be, but we lead with diplomacy. This is very important because, as you can see, we're going to talk about building your network. So you have to study effective communication and the art of diplomacy. Very important within your communication department for the kingdom. You also have to create a written record of your works. That means you're documenting your works. Why do you have to document? For future generations. We will live with the ancestors at some point, and we want our children and our children's children to know the works and to build on the work. You know, because we come into the West, we've become very individualistic, you know, so there's no family legacies being built, each generation doing something else. But we want to build legacies that our children can come and inherit, like the wealthy families all over the earth, and they can carry on the family business. So we have to document as we are doing these works, the community works, we need to document them. So we have to create a written record and a way of housing that. So that's important for every kingdom. And also you have to build your spiritual and professional network. So brethren that you can talk to on spiritual matters, you'll need a network of those brethren. The network of also business people that are like-minded in your field of business or within economic endeavors. You need a network of those brethren as well. So that's part of maintaining the communication, whether it's regular calls, check up with texts. You know, relationships have to be maintained. So this have to be part of the communication department within every kingdom. So what we said so far, let's recap. So let's do a recap. We have the spiritual, wellness and health department. We have the education department. We have the economic department. We have the communication department. Number 5, administration department. So how do you keep track of everything? To-do lists, you know, how are you cataloging? You have to work out an administrative system to manage all of the different departments within the kingdom. So make sure that you have an administration department. You have to have a personal security defense department. So whether that is martial arts, you know, exercise, making sure that when you're exercising, you're preparing yourself for some form of combat should the need arise, so you can at a minimum defend yourself. As a man, it's very important. You know, His Majesty fought on the battlefield, went through many wars. You know, His Majesty said himself his upbringing was not unduly soft, even though he was nobility. You know, he still have to be tested. So you want to make sure personal security defense department is there. You're equipped. People take it the other way. Some Rastas have firearms, you know. Some orders, you know, Rastafari is a wide, His Majesty own guns, you know. Some of our more spiritual orders, like the Nyabingi order, Bobo Shanti order, we don't carry weapons, you know, but we're still powerful. And again, even for those orders that don't believe in weapons, we should still be ready for combat, because if somebody try to deal with your family away or whatever, you still have to be ready to step up and defend it, you know. So it's important. Number 7, every kingdom need a royal queen. Once you reach that king status, you know, again, you have Lich, you have the Dejazmatch, you have Ras, you have Negus and Negas. These are the stages that Rastafari came and lived and showed us. From the Dejazmatch stage, he was married to Empress Menen, as a teenager. So we don't go that extreme now where, youthful time, those times are done. You wait some time, but you've got your purpose, you've identified the Almighty, you put your economic system in place, you have all your departments functioning on some level. Now is the time for you to identify your queen. You notice I didn't say before that, because guess what? You have to be able to maintain the queen and ensure at least some basic standards of living, that she can reside in her feminine. This is the kingdom life. So a lot more that we could say, and we're going to go more in depth into all these topics. I'm just throwing out these topics for discussion. What did I miss in terms of elements that every Rastafari man should have? Leave a comment. Let's start the discussion. But we are formulating the Rastafari man standard right here on this channel. I've been blocking it to some of the brethren and sisters I interact with. People love the idea, everyone knows that the time has come for the lion to tell our own story. And this is the lion voice.
Lion voice. When Rastafari repair the damage, some way we gotta find a way to manage. Yeah. You ain't gotta change for me. No need to explain to me. Hey yo, things change, things fall apart. Sometimes you gotta live with a broken heart. We survived as slaves, seen days to start. We crossed ocean waves, some were thrown to sharks. We survived that part, survived that ship. Now we got trouble with relationships. She wanna be a bad, some wanna be rich. Nobody want family life, we got trick. Got problems from slavery time, that's not fixed. Still we drop it like it's hot, caught by the matrix. In slavery times, I know I couldn't protect. You must admit, I know you lost a little respect. And I know that I had to fight back. You had to watch my manhood under attack. And if I tried to react, killed or locked in a cage. The same rules still apply in the cyber age. Hey, yo, you ain't gotta change for me. In fact, no need to explain to me. I'm a king, that's why it's plain to see. You're a queen, not who you claim to be. Hey, yo, you ain't gotta change for me. In fact, no need to explain to me. I'm a king, that's why it's plain to see. You're a queen, not who you claim to be.